I'm about to embark on the ultimate football journey. I'm going to be playing an entire NFL season straight in virtual reality. I'm going to be increasing the difficulty level of the game as the season progresses. We're starting with the game difficulty on Rookie, and it had some unexpected side effects. Okay, so everything's actually running really slow, like maybe 75% speed. I also realized that the game clock wasn't running either. Eventually, I got used to the pacing, and I started to rack up some points. By the end of the game, I was throwing strikes and feeling pretty darn good about the season to come. Week 2 sent me to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I was still struggling with getting the timing just right in slow motion, and the Steelers got out in front early. After throwing a ton of bad passes, I was finally able to bring it home and put points on the board. Finally, about time. Good grief. With the game tied, the defense was able to shut them down, setting up an 80-yard touchdown. Go, 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 go. Yes, yes, keep going. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, touchdown. Between interceptions and the built-up scoring momentum, we were able to destroy the Steelers 31-14. Week 3 brought our first home game against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens struck first with a field goal, but I was finally starting to catch my groove, and we jumped ahead with another long touchdown pass and run. After some back and forth, the defense was able to finally stop them, giving us the chance to stay ahead, ending the game much closer than I would have liked, 28-25. Week 4 was against the Packers, and it was also the last week on the rookie difficulty level. I'm not gonna lie, the game was a blowout. All right, watch this. I'm gonna physically run this ball into the end. Here, ready, and hike! There we go. Just like that. Touchdown. With Game 4 ending at 31-7, I was a little nervous moving forward how things were going to go. All right, so now it's time to switch over to All-Pro, which could be a bad idea. We'll have to see. Week 5, we were back at home facing the Lions. We're gonna win the game today, Harris. You mark my words. The first time I took a snap, I realized just how different All-Pro mode was going to be. Holy crap, that was fast. Everything's moving at full speed. Not only was the ball moving much faster, but the play clock was now moving and the players were running much faster. I was surprised to find that I did better at full speed than on Rookie. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Ugh. Yes, there we go, another touchdown. The score was 31-3 going into the final couple of minutes with a final score of 31-10. I could be wrong, but I think I'm actually going to like All-Pro better. I don't know how much aim assist actually helps, but I guess we'll see in a couple of weeks. Week 6, we headed to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Right away, the defense set us up in good shape with an interception on the second play of the game. Yes, go McCourty! Feeling very confident in my All-Pro abilities, I was able to lead the team to a 17-0 lead before the half. Looking back, I probably should have reined in that confidence a bit, but we'll get to that. 17-7, this is crazy on All-Pro. Maybe we'll actually have an undefeated season. Back at home again for Week 7, and for our first night game, we took on the Chicago Bears and jumped into the lead early. And touchdown, yes! My confidence got the better of me, and even though we were up 10-0, I was struggling to move the ball down the field. The game still ended up being a shutout at 17-0, but I didn't feel great about how I played. This next game is a big game against the Jets. We've got to do better than we did tonight. Week 8 was in New York versus our division rival, the Jets. Another early interception put us in a great position, putting us up by 7 points. Plagued by more bad passes, the Jets were able to score 2 field goals, one in the last seconds of the half to bring the score to 7-6 going into the third quarter. Working my way down the field, I got another jolt of overconfidence in my abilities. All right, I'm gonna hold on to this one and run it for a first down. Here we go, ready, and hike! Come on, come on, go, 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 yes! Oh, yes, come on, keep going, go, 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 yes, yeah! Touchdown! With my longest run of the season resulting in a touchdown, I was on top of the world. Even though we didn't score any other points that game, we still won 14-9, and I felt untouchable. All right, this is it. It's time to turn off pass aiming assist. I'm a little nervous, but considering how good we've been doing, I don't really think it's going to make that big of a difference. I was wrong. Week 9 was the last game before the bye, and we were facing off against the Colts, of all teams, in Gillette Stadium. Scoring on their first possession, the Colts took an early lead, but I was confident I could strike right back. I quickly realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I thought. Are you serious? I somehow managed to make it down the field into scoring range when I made my first big mistake. Come on, come on, come on. Are you freaking kidding me right now? If the interception wasn't bad enough, the Colts quickly moved down the field for another score, resulting in a 14-0 lead going into the half. All right, that's okay. We just got to play better in the second half. We can still win this. I again worked my way down the field, but just couldn't make it happen, so the field goal unit came out, and missed. Great job, guys. This is just getting ridiculous. With a score of 21-0 and less than a minute left, I finally was able to score a single touchdown, but it wasn't good enough. Well, we lost our first game, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal, except the fact that it's the game after we turn off the aim assist. So I'm not even sure we're going to make it to the Super Bowl, let alone actually become Super Bowl champions. I guess we just go on to the next week and see what happens. Week 11 saw us facing off against the Jets again, but this time in New England. Somehow, on our first possession, I was actually able to move the ball down the field and get within scoring range. Come on. Yes! Finally! This gave me the boost of confidence I needed, and the defense put up a good fight, and it was 9-0 headed into the half. I totally stalled out in the second half, though, and we narrowly won 9-7. Well, I'm still not super confident, but I feel like at least we've got a shot now. Week 12 sent us to face off against the Vikings in Minnesota, and I was struggling to move the ball. It was 9-3 going into the half. I can tell you right now, the only reason we stayed ahead was because of the defense. It took until the fourth quarter for us to finally get a touchdown, and I couldn't even connect a pass for it, so we ran a running play. The final score ended up being 16-10. Week 13 was back at home against the Bills, another division rival and always a hard team to beat for the Pats. The Bills took an early lead in the first quarter with their first possession, and I knew it was going to be a long game. Come on. Right before the half, we were able to finally get points on the board. Yes! Little did I know that my celebration would be short-lived. I really struggled in the second half of the game and just couldn't move the ball well enough to put any points up. On the other hand, the Bills scored another touchdown and a field goal, making it my second loss of the season. We really need to figure out what the heck is going on, because if this keeps up, there is no way we're making it to the championship game. Week 14 sent us to Arizona, and this game did not go exactly how I expected it to. Our first possession, we actually scored a touchdown, and I had some pretty decent passes. We kept some of the momentum going and were able to put 3 more points on the board before Arizona could answer. The second half took a different turn, and I totally stalled out while the Cardinals were able to catch up and tie the game at 10, sending it into overtime. Somehow, though, I was able to move the ball down the field and score the game-winning touchdown. Oh, yes! Are you kidding me? We actually did it in overtime! Now it was time to head to Vegas for week 15. I could tell this week that even though I was still struggling, I was slowly getting better at passing without the aim assist. It took until the third quarter before I finally scored a touchdown, but the real reason we won was the final stand by the defense on the last possession, and the game ended 13-10. Week 16 was more of the same, trying to get the passing just right. We faced off against the Bengals in Foxborough. With only a minute left in the fourth quarter, it was tied 7-7, but I was able to make it down the field and we scored a field goal, I thought, winning the game. But the Bengals made it back down the field and scored a field goal, leaving just 12 seconds on the clock. Needless to say, it did go to overtime, but we were able to pull it off and won by a field goal. Week 17, the regular season was starting to come to an end, and this week we faced off against the Dolphins again. Just seconds into the game, we struck first. Go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep! Yes! I was really starting to get into a groove, and we stayed ahead most of the game until the very end when the Dolphins caught up, sending yet another game into overtime. We were able to make quick work of them, though, and finished off the game with a touchdown. The next game didn't go quite so well. Week 18 was another game against the Bills, who we lost against in Week 13. This game wasn't much difference, to be honest, except that the giant screens were glitched so that I had no way of seeing the game clock or score or anything. In the last couple of minutes, we were able to score a touchdown to bring the game to a tie, but the defense just couldn't hold on, and the Bills were able to score a field goal to win in the final seconds. It was time for the divisional playoff round. We'd done good enough to get a bye for the wild card round, and we'd be playing at home for both of our playoff games if we could win. We were facing the Bengals again, and everything was on the line. I was ready to play my hardest, and it was worth it because not only were we first on the board, but we were cleaning up with a 14-0 lead headed into the second half. The Bengals were able to score in the final minutes of the game, but it was too little too late, and we brought home the divisional title 24-8. We're just one game away from the Super Bowl. We just got to win the next game. Let's go win it and take the championship. The conference championship was against the LA Chargers, but coming off of our big win the previous week, I just knew we were going to win. We took an early 7-point lead, but the Chargers came out swinging in the second half, and the score was 10-7 heading into the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really nervous right now. We're behind, and it's going into the last quarter. If we don't score and win this game, it's it. Like, it's done. We've done all of this for absolutely nothing. Fortunately, in the last seconds of the fourth quarter, much closer than I was happy for it to be, we scored the game-winning touchdown to end the game at 17-10. The time had finally come. It was time to see if I could actually become the virtual Super Bowl champion. The Super Bowl took place in Arizona against the 49ers. I'd love to tell you that it was a close game, but to be honest, somehow we destroyed them. Well, honestly, this is kind of a letdown. It's the fourth quarter and it's 21-0. This isn't exactly how I expected the Super Bowl to go. I'm kind of disappointed after hyping it up this long. Is it actually going to feel good winning that trophy after such a crappy, easy game? Heck yes, we're Super Bowl champions! We actually did it! What a crazy challenge! I actually wasn't really 100% sure there for a while that we were actually going to make it, but we did it. Now if I could just head to Disney World, this would be a really happy